want you all to raise your hand if you have ever heard of Maslow's theory just until now or when you took my survey later in these couple of last weeks. And also, as my survey results showed, over 70% of you all, including cohort A, have never heard of it either. Similarly to you, I haven't either until I searched into Google good topics to inform audiences about. And after I read my first article, I figured out it would be very beneficial for everyone to hear about it because no one has ever heard about it before. There are 5 different needs or model for levels on Maslow's pyramid. And by accomplishing all of these, it is said that you will sustain a happier life, if not future. Maslow's hierarchy of needs will help obtain satisfaction, could possibly alter different causes of mental illnesses, and is used very widely in different multiple teaching methods and in businesses today. As I said before, there are 5 different levels or needs in Maslow's pyramid: psychological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. All of these 5 needs are split up into 3 different sections: basic, psychological, and self-fulfillment. Saul McLeod, author of the article Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs, describes psychological needs as requirements for human survival, such as food, air, water, clothing, shelter, warmth, etc. Without these needs, human survival would not be possible. Therefore, no other needs would be able to be met, which leads me to my second need, safety. Safety allows someone to feel secure and protected. The 3rd level is love and belonging. McLeod says in his own words, the need for interpersonal relationships motivates behavior. This pretty much sums up to affiliating with being part of a group and be accepted by others will help you accomplish this need. And family and friends can also help you go up in this level. Esteem is the 4th level. Esteem can be compared in 2 different ways: your self-dignity, which is how you feel about yourself, or your other esteem from what other people see of you, such as your reputation or your status. The final step is the self-actualization. Saul McLeod says, Maslow describes this level as the desire to accomplish everything that one can to become the most that they can be. By accomplishing this top level, you as a person will see how much you have accomplished and where you started to where you are now, and how much self-potential you have to overcome all of your difficulties. Now that you have learned a little bit more about each of these needs, I will inform you on how society today could put these needs to use. As all of you know, our nation currently is enduring a worldwide pandemic, COVID-19. And since this last March, medical illnesses have dramatically increased in a negative way. Lorna Collier, author of the article COVID-19 and Mental Health, says researchers believe 25 to 40% of healthcare workers and first responders will encounter some type of mental illness just due to all the negative impact and effects that they have seen throughout their careers. Depression and anxiety are the main 2 mental illnesses that have dramatically increased. However, suicide deaths have also skyrocketed since this last March. In the article, A Longitudinal Study of Mental Health in Emerging Adults, the 3 authors, Bachman, Zonge, and Hammerly wrote, Maslow postulated that these basic needs account for human motivation and mental health. By looking at all of this, us in the United States have dramatically increased by 33%. And by following his theory, we could potentially help prevent, if not reduce, mental illness because it is becoming more common in our country today. In the article, A Field Guide to a Happy Life, 53 brief lessons for living states, and his exhortations to readers to simply focus on what they can control, such as one's personal character. By someone focusing on just what they can control could lead them to the correct path to a happy life. Teaching schools and businesses have also added his theory into helping kids and their workers succeed in their life. His theory has been taught in many different ways today, and I will show you 2 different ways. In some schools, not normally us, but in more urban schools, their number 1 priority is students' safety, and this can be affected by shootings and intruders in the building. Ever since this would happen happened to a school building, the children would automatically feel scared and feared for their life as they would walk into the building, and this is a problem. In the article, Discipline in Schools, the author Thomas J. Bilteri writes, if students fear that they may be subject to physical attacks, put into substandard buildings, incapable of withstand Mother Nature's hazards, or forced to deal with a staff that cannot cope with daily threats to students' safety, then self-actualization, which is compared to learning in the schools, will never occur. In his quote, he compared self-actualization, which is the final step in Maslow's pyramid, to learning in the education world. This school looks at Maslow's hierarchy of needs to see if their teaching methods would satisfy their kids' lives. Another area that uses Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a physician's wellness framework, which is this table. 5 medical doctors wrote the article comparing 2 adapted Maslow's hierarchy of needs frameworks on physician's wellness. And they used the 5 needs to relate medical terms or scenarios to. They believe its needs is a great starting point. The last step on this table is they compare the self-actualization to their workers' their work is contributing to their fullest potential or the ability. And the next scenario is they will adapt to mentorship and fellowship and their job support, and that is the most important thing in a medical career. In conclusion, I have told you and informed you about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the multiple different ways people can use this theory and how they are used today. In the beginning of my speech, most of you have never heard of his theory, including myself. Now, by the end of it, I hope that everyone has a better understanding and has learned something new today.